Hello everybody and welcome on today's video. Today I have to do some maintenance, midsummer maintenance on this little yew tree. So let's start immediately. So the work that I need to do, well, there are a few things that I need to do, but the most important thing I think is if you look to this tree from the side, you will see that there is the tree should have 3 dimensions, of course, and well, we are lacking a little foliage at this place, so I'm going to use some guy wires to pull some of these branches more in these positions, and that will open up the tree a little because some of these branches are a little shaded out. For example, this branch didn't make it because it is completely in the shadow of the branch above, and so it is dead now, and therefore I'm going to gin it, which will add a nice feature, because, well, this is definitely a tree with lots of deadwood, and it will add some character. Now, of course, I want to keep these lower parts of the tree, and this part, of course. And while I'm working on it, I see that there are some scale insects, so I will have to treat it with soap and water later. And I'm just going to remove the bark of this part of the branch, till I'm on the clear woods. I'm almost done ginning this branch, and I'm going to apply a little lime sulfur on it. If I can open this bottle, of course. And I'm using a pure lime sulfur. Some people like to use a few parts of water and then apply the lime sulfur, but since I've been treating this trunk with pure lime sulfur, I want it to become completely white. So that's the first part. Next thing is pulling these 2 branches, this one and this one, a little to the front. And as you see, the tree was repotted this year, and it's still not completely stable in its spot, so I have to do this with great care. So I'm going to attach the guy wires to the tree, to the dead part of the tree, and this way there will be no tension between the tree and the soil it's growing in. I mean, or the pot, because you can apply guy wires to every part you want. So I'm going to fix a piece of tire. To this branch and to this branch. So the reason why I'm attaching these pieces of rubber is because of I don't want the guy wire to dig into the branches, because it's supposed to stay there for, well, at least a couple of months. And I'm removing the excess, and as you see, every move I make is quite bad, because I'm moving the tree in the pot, so I have to be really careful. I'm going to put the wire around this piece of deadwood, like so. And then I'm pulling this a little more to the front. Always control that the wire is still on the piece of tire, because otherwise it would be quite useless. And as you see, it can move a whole lot. Which is very good. Now these two little branches have to be wired in order to come this way, so that you don't have branches growing inside of the tree. But this is when I will do the fire wiring in autumn. So this is good. And now the same for the branch here. And I'd like to pull it a little down also. So I think I'm going to use this gin. Okay. So this is a fairly thin branch. It's quite easy to bend. And again, I will have to position every single branch now when I'm wiring the tree. But it makes a difference. You see that there is already some green now in the front of the tree, and I might do the same with this branch. Well, I'll come back when it's done. You've seen it. So this is done. So a quick 360 to show you how this improved the three-dimensional character of the tree. You now have more foliage in the front, and it's surrounding the dead parts, which is a nice contrast. Midsummer is a good season to cut back the trees. How can you see that you can cut back them? Because you want new buds to form. Again, a scale insect, I definitely have to do something. Well, the new growth should have the same color as the old growth, and then you can cut back some of the new growth, and then the tree will start making new buds for the coming season. So it's a light pruning of every tip, and try to keep always a little of the new growth. Don't cut back too much at the bottom. Cut back a little at the bottom, some more in the middle parts, and a whole lot more in the top, which has the most vigor. It's also a good idea to have a look at dead needles and remove these, because they're just creating some shadows, and if you have some dead branches, just prune them away. So that's what I have to do now. A good trim in the top, some in the middle and not a whole lot at the bottom. So while I'm cutting, a little information about yew trees. There are of course different species of yew trees, and the most known is the baccata here in Europe. You have of course the cuspidata, which is the Japanese yew. It's not easy to find, and you have lots of other, like more golden needles. Golden, well, they are yellow. It's a variety that likes to have some shadow. It is not really a fast grower, so it will take some time to make a decent bonsai out of it. But once you are there, it's nice. It does backbud quite easily on all the wood, so it is a good thing to prune it every now and then. So you see, I'm just taking every tip and cutting it back, always leaving some of the new growth, because otherwise you'll get quite long and leggy branches. Next thing I want to do is remove some of the moss from the base of the trunk, because especially when you have deadwood, it's not such a good idea to leave all this moss here, because it makes the surrounding of this tree completely wet, and it stays wet, and then of course your deadwood will rot away. So I'm removing the moss from the deadwood completely. And from the living part of the trunk also. And I'll get it off with my tweezers now. It is possible to clean a yew tree almost the same way as you should clean a juniper. And I mean that you can come back and get the old bark off, and as you see, you will have a nice reddish, almost purple bark under it. I'm almost done removing the moss. At some places it's very difficult, because the moss tends to climb up the tree. It takes some time to do it properly. And I'm going to get the algae and the little leftovers of the moss away. So of course this is a completely dead part of the tree, so you can dig quite deep without harming the tree, because, well, there are no roots there. This is all dead. It's not the same here at the back, where you have the living part of the tree. And as you can see, there are new little roots forming here. I'll show them with the scissors. Here, the new white roots, which means the tree is quite healthy. I'm now filling up the gaps that I left with just fresh substrate, which is lava rock and I think it's cocoa peat I used here. And this way I can now remove all the excess. If it's necessary, you can trim the moss, but it's not too long now, so I'm just letting it the way it is. Because I noticed that there were some scale insects, I'm just spraying the tree with soap and water. It's like, well, it's difficult to say, but something like between 3 and 5% of just soap you use to clean the dishes. And I'm just spraying the pot, because I have my soap, I can clean this pot too. So this is the result after half an hour of work. It's not spectacular, but real bonsai work is not spectacular. It's about maintenance, it's about patience, and it's about doing the things that need to be done at that time. So I hope you liked it, and thank you for watching, and see you next time.